the most automated Brazil nut factory in the world. It produces about 1.5 million Brazil nuts per month. You can only source it from the Amazon jungle. You can't farm it. Can only grow in virgin rainforests.
Every Brazilian nut we eat around the world has come from a virgin rainforest.
Yes, and then we would bring them in and then we would modify them for the Brazil nuts industry. It's never been done before. And suddenly we've got the lowest cost of production and the highest quality product. Market share up to sort of 30% global market share of Brazil nuts.
And what's the size of the global market?
The market is actually...
Gladiator, special friend of mine. I met this gentleman, a superstar, gladiator, entrepreneur, an incredible story. Gareth Lloyd, I met him on Necker Island, which is Richard Branson's island. And we kind of like, I was kind of observing Richard Branson from a distance throughout the week. I noticed that the only person that Richard Branson gave a lot of time to was Gareth. And we connected as poor Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
And we just connected, and I believe we hit it off. And we had a beautiful story.
Yeah.
We're both kind of from Manchester.
Yeah.
Manchester.
Yeah.
And Liverpool fans, suffering Liverpool fans. Yeah. And welcome to our arena.
Amazing. Great. Perfect to be here.
Thank you. It's an honor. So welcome to sunny Dubai.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Your story. We're going to talk about, you're a CEO of Truly Nuts, right?
Yep.
Again, we're going to talk about Truly Nuts. That's your kind of end project. But you were a DJ back then.
Yes.
So let's a bit about you. And then you became a recruiter.
Yes.
A very successful recruitment business that you currently still own, right?
Yeah.
So please tell us your DJ story.
Yeah, so very interesting, really. It was a sort of sliding doors moment. Summer 1994, finished my GCSEs. I was growing up in a place called Guildford in Surrey, 40 minutes outside of central London on the train. And we were blessed with this amazing countryside around us. And what was going on in the early 90s were these raves were happening all around the M25 motorway corridors in the countryside at night. And I was at a barbecue having completed my GCSEs. And it's just starting to get dark. And one of the guys says, some older kids are driving here now. They're going to come and pick us up and take us to a rave. I was thinking, wow, well, what is this? You know, I was a rock guitarist at that time. So we go to this rave and literally overnight, incredible night, passion for music switched literally overnight from rock music into...
In a band?
Yeah, I was playing in a band, lead guitar. You know, I turned up at the rave.
16?
Yeah. And, you know...
Had no issues with audiences?
No.
And being 16, you couldn't play pubs and stuff, could you? Did you actually play gigs?
Yeah, we were playing gigs, but we weren't playing. It was like the school gigs.
Like alcohol outlet.
Yeah. Touring little school band, you know, and that was it.
Are you good?
Yeah, it was okay. It was pretty good.
Still play?
I still play a little bit, but really my focus switched to electronic music, started producing music, DJing. Within a year of started DJing, we built our own sound system. We were touring with that. We were renting it to warehouse parties in London. We took it to Glastonbury Festival, age 17.
Your system?
Yeah, the sound system.
So what was special about the sound system?
Well, back then, you kind of built sound systems, and then you would take them out to events, raves. We took it to Notting Hill Carnival.
Those huge speakers.
I'm talking 10 foot high, 10,000 watts, all the amps, really loud. And you would put these sound systems together with other sound systems. So I remember doing a rave for about 2,500 people in Oxfordshire with 5 other sound systems. We had 5 of them all up there and, going all night. And yeah, it was an incredible period.
Were you a rich family? Is that, how could you do all this? Because somebody listening there and they go, how could you put it together? Must have had some money.
Yeah, so we worked hard. I had a lot of jobs then, and I remember what happened. My parents knew me and my friends were saving up to build this sound system, and they were going on holiday for 2 weeks, and they said, Gareth, whatever you do, you're not to build the sound system here at the house. And of course, as they pulled out the drive, I rang the boys. Yeah, they came in. And we spent 2 weeks, reading books, how to build it. And we built the sound system. And literally the paint was just drying when they were coming back. And we stored it at the back of the garage. And they drove in, opened the garage, and I said, Mum, Dad, I've got something to tell you. You said not to build a sound system. Well, have a look at this. And I remember the look on their face. It was a mixture of sort of shock, but ultimate pride.
Yes.
Yeah. And they were really great. They let us store the sound system theirs, and we took it out for gigs all the time from there. So they've always backed me, you know, on whatever I wanted to do.
And then you said you had a rental business and you were renting these out. And
Yeah,
so there were some negotiations involved. Were you always kind of commercially aware? Was it something?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was, something, it happened from a very early age, you know, 13, 14. I remember, you know, the standard thing you did in the UK, go around knocking on doors, washing cars. I remember getting a job as a paperboy very early on. I got my dad to write a letter to the shop to actually say, look, I know he's not quite old enough, but he really wants to earn money. Can you give him a chance? And you know, within 2 months, I was running all the rounds and getting there early and marking up the papers. And then I was running the shop for the owner. You know, it was just kind of, you know, I've always wanted to progress and do things better and go to
Did it have the love for money? Is though money can give me choices, options?
I think so. You know, it was, I think, you know, my parents grew up, you know, had bought houses in you know, in the 80s, and we were living in a, you know, a nice middle class house. But back then the mortgage rates were 15, 16%. So
years,
so I think we never felt like we had any money. We never wanted for anything. But my dad worked very hard in London, and I think, you know, he never gave me anything. So I always had to go and get it myself. And that was a good lesson.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how long did you continue DJing? You still have a love for DJing? Because I love creating music.
Yes.
In our last summit, I created all the music for our summit.
Amazing.
But I don't have the knowledge of the technical stuff.
Yeah.
So I sit with a DJ and he puts it together for me.
Yeah.
So do you still put music together? Do you have time?
Yeah, I still DJ a little bit. So obviously when we're in Necker Island, the last 3 years I've been to Necker Island. I've DJ'd at the beach party there, which is always fun. And then I go to Ibiza in summer. And we always have an event there for all our friends to come over and do a sort of a one-off friends event.
Am I going to be invited?
You're invited.
Any friends list?
Yeah, you're in.
You invite me. I think I have one Ibiza left in me.
So you got one more left.
Yeah, one more. I think so.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
the arm works, and then
we need
to
get
super frame.
Yeah.
No, I'm in.
No, they'd love to have you there. Wow. So and then.
So you're still well known in the.
No, I think as the business is my first successful business, I would say, which was Amoria, as that started to really take off, the time to put into that passion is very, very difficult. And you have to think about it like this. You're building a culture in a new company. You know, you're finishing on a Friday, you're taking the guys down to the pub, you're all talking about war stories of what's gone on that week. And then you're like, well, I need to get home, sort out my music into Manchester, and then, you know, you've got these gigs. It was hard to do.
So I never moved to Manchester. You always played gigs there. But
No, I was living there.
Oh,
yeah. So I went. What happened was, after the raves we were doing around the M25 in the south of England, at age 19, I moved to Manchester to go to the University of Manchester. What a place in the 90s. Just, you know, an incredible music scene. It was the centre of the world for electronic music, but also bands. There's some incredible bands that came out of Manchester there. So very easily I was able to pick up DJ residencies, you know, as a student. And then I formed my first company really there. And we were doing club nights, electronic music nights. We were doing student nights.
You had other DJs working for you.
Other DJs working with us. We were bringing in, everyone wanted to come and play in Manchester. So you could get big DJs to come in and play for you. And we carried that on throughout university and post-graduation. And in the end, the business actually failed. It ran out of money. Just cash flow. The business was good, but the cash flow was, and then that was a big lesson for me.
You were 19?
Well, when it failed, I was 21.
Yeah, but you started at 19.
Yeah,
imagine
20.
Imagine these, and I've been in the music industry. I've dealt with music industry, speakers, entertainers, huge egos.
Yeah.
You know, and you come in, they put a microphone under somebody's chin and the ego explodes.
Yeah.
And what do you think they were thinking when they were seeing somebody 20-year-old running the company? Was that ever an issue to you or to them?
I don't know.
Did you play a part to make sure that you told them right from the beginning? Yeah, it's just not going to be an issue.
Yeah, I think it's how you carry yourself. I think, and we were a big believer in the music that we were pushing, and we were good operators and people respected that.
I love the way you keep saying we and not I.
Yeah.
Although it was your, I love that.
Yeah, well, every business I am involved in, I've got partners.
Me.
Every single one, you know, and really, if I look at it now, I've got everything is across 5 partners, one of which is my wife, and you know, 4 of them are my best friends, and they were friends first before partners, and
Yes.
and the 5th obviously is the ultimate best friend, my wife.
Yeah, huge trust factor.
Massive trust, yeah, and
Same
you know,
values, boundaries.
boundaries, and I think the biggest thing is you're always going to face multiple challenges.
Yes.
And if you have a shared vision, shared values, you know you're always going to get to the right answer with one another.
Yes.
And that's so important.
I'm going to ask a silly question. Do you produce any music that was in the charts? Or anything
No,
like this?
never produced anything. And I think what happened, some of my friends did, I went down that line. And very early days, I was producing stuff. So when I was 16, 17, when I first got into it. But I found that I was always in the place of the organization.
Okay.
So organising the nights, bringing the DJs in, the business side of things, and that's really where I ended up.
You're more comfortable.
Yeah, I was more comfortable. It was just a natural sort of, well, he's going to DJ and produce, and I'll run the events. So that organisation, and so I never actually, and it's still on my list to get back in the studio, but time, you know, at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so 1 year you got back into recruitment. Do you
Back
think
in.
I'm going to work for someone, or you thought, you know what, I can do this better myself?
Yeah, and that was the point with two best friends of mine. We'd all left at different times for.
Being also in recruitment.
Yeah, we all worked together.
Same company.
Same S3, and it was time then to sort of put the band back together, as they say. And we had 100,000, stuck that in. First year we did $1 million of sales, which is good.
That would have been late 90s, right?
That was 2005. First year of trading, 2006.
20 years ago. Amazing.
Yeah, so we left 2005. End of 2006, we got the band back together, and then first year of trading, 2007, did $1 million. I think our 18th year is this year, and we'll be just shy of 200 million.
That's incredible. So it's just grown and grown and grown.
All organically. No investors.
You're not so involved anymore.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
and have you seen that progression in your friends? Have you seen them change and grow? Has the responsibilities changed?
Yeah, between the partners.
3 of you, yeah.
Yeah, they have, but we're still, I mean, you know, we're in different places all the time, and we actually got together in London just for a social, and we realised it was 6 years that we hadn't sat in the same room together, but it doesn't feel like that. We talk every day. We're on Zooms. You know, we're friends. You know,
You have offices all over the world now?
we have 2 in Asia, 1 in the US, Germany, Holland, and the UK.
That's incredible.
Mm.
Did you mean to grow to such a size company, or it's just lots of magic coincidences?
Yeah, I think, look, there's a lot of hard work, a lot, you know, it's been graft, and we've had many challenges like any business. And I remember the biggest one it felt was the global financial crisis. You know, we
do 8, 9 years.
Yeah, we literally just opened Amsterdam and London, you know, the year in our second year, and suddenly you see this sort of doom roll in. And as a young entrepreneur, it was worrying. And obviously, the first thing that happens then is clients stop hiring. So that challenge, COVID, was a big one as well. So you still, you know,
So you had your bumps along the way.
All the way.
Straight.
No, definitely not. I think we went back about 25% during COVID. But you know, the best things come out of these challenges for sure. And we completely shifted some of our business. And I actually set up a management consulting business in 2016 as part of the Amoria Group. And that was quite a small little business in Asia. And during COVID, I absolutely quadrupled down on that business strategically. And that business now is probably 40% of the overall group revenues of Amoria.
Not so much recruitment.
No, we're doing projects now. So
going from 1 million to 200 million is you see you have to scale, right? You have to have systems in place. What do you do to cope with the growth? Because it's not the same company as it was when you first started, right?
No. I think that the key thing is to keep hiring great people and keep developing great people. And that's what we've done. I'm very proud of what we've done with Amoria, because I think 90% of the senior leadership team all started as rookies. And so, whereas a lot of our competitors have spent time just headhunting all the others and bringing people in, but we've always built from within. So, building, but then also being open to the fact that there's going to be some great people out there. And interestingly, some of the people that I work with that were my mentors at S3 are now working with us. So it's sort of full circle. So I think good advisors, a united team around the values of the company, strong vision, and then incentivization to make sure that we're all heading in the right direction.
I guess incentives, financial, is very important. Second thing is like putting systems. You have to invest a lot. Yeah. Especially in IT. Yeah. Is that what you had to do, like databases and CRM packages and stuff? Because a lot of companies, they're small to medium sized, they don't invest in an infrastructure. Yeah, and I think coming from a company like S3, it had, obviously it was floated on the FTSE, it had to have amazing systems. So when we first set up, that was the first thing that we wanted. We wanted the same as what we had before, because we were back on the tools, right? We were making the calls, So we really wanted to have all the bells and whistles that we had previously, and putting money into training, development, systems, processes. We did from a very, very early time. And you know what? We've had times where parts of those processes have fallen down, and you learn very quickly from that. It can really hurt the business. How do you feel about the AI coming in now? Because a lot of people are talking about that AI could actually remove the human factor when it comes to recruitment. Yeah, I think so. And I think they've talked about it in lots of industries, haven't they? And I think where we feel that it will have an impact is at least in the short term, is making a lot of the things that we have to do day to day very much easier. The emails, the follow-ups, the automated processes that you can put in AI. I think the searching is also something that AI will be able to do, but still the human interaction. The human interaction, like anything in sales, that finding the needs. You're going and meeting a customer, truly showing interested and well-being. Yeah, of I want to find you the best people to help you build your business, and spending an hour with them to really understand what is it that they need to do. And that's over the years what we've spent a lot of time on, is that client interaction to understand the needs and then deliver great service. Looking back at your 20 years in recruitment, 20 odd years in recruitment, running your own business for almost 20 years, what are would say is 3 key factors in spotting or being a superstar in a company? Superstar sales, let's say. Yeah, so you're talking about the top. Well, you look at them and you think these are common denominators. So there's 3 top common denominators in the superstars. Yeah. What makes them a superstar? And number one, in sales or recruitment, I believe is hard work. I think, we can there's always more that you can do, right? And all the top performers I've seen, it doesn't matter how good they are at talking on the phone or knowing their market or having a great network. They're all super hard workers. And it doesn't mean, I'm not saying they're in at 8 and finishing at 8, but I'm saying that while they're there, they graft. They're relentless. The phone is just, it never gets put down. Do you know what I mean? They're constantly busy on the phone. They're constantly busy messaging. And no matter how wealthy they get, they still continue. It's just a habitual thing. Yeah. They don't relax when the money's in the bank. No, exactly. Second thing is, and it's something that we've taught in all our businesses, goals. Being really, really clear on your why. And not having conflicting goals. So you can't have that work-life balance but want to be a millionaire. Some people maybe could do it. Make certain sacrifices. Yeah, you do. So being really focused, and it shouldn't be the goals that your parents want you to have or the society wants you to have. But I would want to test those goals. What do you really want out of this job? Because once you really get into that part of it, and I truly believe in attracting your future through that lower control, manifestation, and action. And action. You got to sit on the couch with your remote control, buy your chips. Yeah, manifesting. Yes, exactly.
no, you've got to take action, and they do. And then I think the third thing, which is a really basic thing and could be put into any industry, these top performers really care. They care about their contractors on site. In our consulting business, they care about projects. They care about their client. They're willing to take a call anytime, weekends, because they just want to
give a job.
Yeah, they want to give that great service. And I always say to people over the years, if you think about someone who has maybe got, 20, 30, 40 contractors on various projects, they're like a CEO. Yes. They've got to manage that book of contractors or those project staff. They've got to manage the project. They've got to manage the relationships, yes. And they can get paid like a CEO as well. So actually believing that you are the CEO of that multi-million-pound business,
taking the ownership,
and use our facilities and our back office to,
and without the worries, without the cash flow issues, the company.
We have to.
How do you think? Because you've seen 2 or 3 generations, let's say every 10 years, let's say, it's a generation coming to the workforce. What have you noticed? Are they? We brought out the gladiator movement because we feel that the new generation are getting soft. How do you feel? Have you noticed? Am I right? Am I wrong? What's your?
Look, I think there's an element of it, for sure.
Those 90s grafters who got on the phone.
Yeah.
How I noticed that they just have headsets down. They can't even be bothered dialing.
Yeah.
What have you noticed?
I think, look, the environment's changed. There's no doubt about it. But I think because of the sort of Instagram culture and this whole world that's being lived online, people do have the ambition to live a better life. So there's that drive and there's that hunger and passion. I think what you have to do is you have to sift a lot more to find the people who are willing to do it. And in all the interviews that I used to be involved in, and certainly with Truly Nuts, building the team that we built there, I really want to understand why people are going to get out of bed that day. What challenges have they had? Because, we're in a startup phase with Truly Nuts. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot happening that is completely out of control, and you have to have people with resilience.
Do you fire fast? Or do you not? We're not going to go to Truly Nuts yet.
Yeah,
it's about recruitment. Do you hire slow? Do you have an interview process? Do you have? How do you find out what makes them tick? Instead of are you organized? Are you punctual?
I know. Yeah, I think that we put a system in place. I haven't been involved in any of the interview processes at all with Amoria for probably 7 or 8 years, but they still work on the same premise that we did. So the same system that we put in place. So it's a 3-stage interview process, of which the 3rd stage is a presentation. And in that presentation, that's a 20-minute presentation. And then you're probably going to get another hour to an hour and a half of questions after. And we really want to get to know people. And so we feel that, at the end of that process, if we've gone through that and there's a match, great. If there's not, we're okay with saying if they don't like us at that stage, that's okay.
Age restrictions. I'm in my 50s, and would you not hire somebody in their 50s? Because I tell you what, I'm freaking driven.
Yeah.
If I lost it all, I'd love to have somebody. But then I noticed that they put in the category of, he won't be around for long. I applied for a mortgage. They refused it now at your age. Oh, why not? I was like, oh, shit, you're right. I won't be around in 20 or 30. No, forget asking for a 30-year mortgage.
Yeah. I think it depends on the person. If you came in for an interview, I'd hire you. No doubt about it. Because I think if someone's got drive and energy, it doesn't matter about the age. And this is, if people have got that, I call it, the well of both an abundance mindset, but also that ability to deal with challenge and that resilience well,
If you live in gratitude,
you're
just prepared to do anything.
Yeah.
If you allow the ego to get in the way, you're going to have issues working for someone or somebody hiring you. It becomes challenging.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you're working for me now. So kill the ego, right?
Yeah.
So wonderful. What led you to your next venture? And how do your existing partners feel about that? Because you're not so involved in your previous recruitment business.
Yeah.
How do they feel about it?
Yeah, I think we're all good with it because they have got their other projects that they're doing as well.
Wow. And
Yeah.
there's no money issues or anything like that?
No. It works. And you know, we've always had different passions and different levels of different times of effort that we wanted to put into the business. But I think one thing as friends, we're never going to let each other down. And that's the fundamental. So if the boys need me, I'm on a call. If they rang me today and said, I need a call with you, I'd make time. And that's how we work. Just we're friends, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and that's what we do.
Because there's many entrepreneurs listening to this now. They're on their own.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's a lonely game.
Who do you speak to unless they have, alternative motives?
Yes.
But to meet people who unconditionally care for you is incredible.
Yeah, and my partner Dan, I went to university with him. We had a business, the business at university that failed. Yes. We failed together with that, and then we joined the same recruitment company, and then we've gone on and set this thing up. So, and interestingly, my other partner in Amoria, Nick, he's joined the White Line Foods board and is an investor in that, and is part of the exec board. So he's coming along on that journey with us, and that was an interesting.
You led the change. You led the move, right?
Yeah.
So tell me how you got into this business and how long ago was this?
Yeah. So this was 2012, and I'd spent a lot of time in Latin America touring as a DJ with my DJ partner, a guy called Greg Vickers, and he was a super successful DJ. He was, the youngest DJ to record an Essential Mix, Pete Tong's Essential Mix on Radio 1, and he had a really good career. But he got to a stage where it was like, time to hang up the headphones. And interesting, in Latin America, you're DJing with some incredible people who are DJs from and sons and daughters from some of the wealthiest families in Peru. And out of that, we started to cultivate relationships with them. And we started initially trying to bring some of their products out Peru into Brazil, where Greg was leaving. So it was just sort of there was no master plan. It was like, we're in Brazil. Greg was living there. He speaks fluent Portuguese.
Huge population.
Huge population. For some reason, they weren't shipping products into Brazil. Greg had some contacts there, and we put together a container, and that was it. And then we discovered Peruvian garlic as another product that and within 3 years, we were the largest producer of Peruvian garlic.
So financially. Has it made profit? Are you making profit?
Yes.
How long did it take to make profit?
So we were making profit within 2.5 years on that business. Very, 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 very small.
Was it called Truly Not Snow?
No, that's called White Lion Foods. Okay. And then I always joke about it as the world's worst business model, because we only had one short period of sales. So you plant the garlic in January, you grow
harvest.
Yeah, and then there's one harvest, and so we literally have sales from September, October, November, December, January. That was it. So we were always looking for other products, and we tried lots of things, tomatoes, potatoes, onions, and we're talking about shipping it by 30 tons, 50 tons, hundreds of tons.
Yes.
And then we had some interesting stories along the way of failed products on that. But then we came across the Brazil nut, and the Brazil nut was, you can only source it from the Amazon jungle. You can't farm it. It only comes out Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil. It's a limited supply. You have to hand collect it from the Amazon forest floor.
My idea is it's very sensitive, right?
Very sensitive, yeah. So it can only grow in virgin rainforest. So
every Brazilian nut we eat around the world has come from a virgin rainforest.
Yes. From 3 countries. In fact, from 2, because Brazil love the Brazil nut so much they don't export any. They keep it up for themselves. So if you're eating a Brazil nut and you're not in Brazil, it'll be either from Peru or Bolivia.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's some goodness to this.
Amazing goodness, antioxidants, high in selenium. You can get all your selenium requirements, which is good for the immune system. Yes. Obviously, high in fiber, protein.
Even if it's roasted.
Roasted, yeah. Flavored, still
has the ingredients.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was like. So how did you get into Brazilian nuts?
Yeah. So initially, and credit to my partner Greg. He's a man out in the field. He lives for it. He's out there.
He's become an unbelievable businessman.
Yeah, yeah. And he goes out and he meets the people, and that was the thing. We had a JV with a Peruvian partner, and it was a season where everything was going well. You know, the Brazil nut price was going up. There was
the production was incredible.
You know, it was perfect. And actually, we were sharing this facility with him, but he kept delaying us. Then some of our product would sort of disappear a little bit. He was stealing, you know.
The other priority.
Yeah, it did. Suddenly we were then not being able to fulfill our orders with our customers in Korea and Japan. And, you know, it was becoming a big problem. So I said to my partner, like, we can't run a business like this. You know, we just cannot run a business. And he was saying, well, we can find another partner. And I said, no, we're going to have to build our own facility. And he was like, really? Yeah. And I said, yeah, we're going to have to build our own facility. And we built it in Peru. And what we did, we found a site in the middle of the Amazon, closer to the nuts.
Crazy story.
You
actually look back.
Yeah.
From a recruitment company in England.
Yeah.
To building a factory or assembly line.
Yeah, well, no, it's a full factory. I mean, it's a 15-acre site. It's the most automated Brazil nut factory in the world. It produces about 1.5 million Brazil nuts per month.
You got videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Just send it to me.
Yeah.
When we play this podcast, we'll have clips of this.
Yeah, we've got. Yeah, it's an incredible. I mean, even I was surprised when I got there the first time to see it, because I set this big goal for the team. I said we're going to go and build it. I said, here's the money. Let's go for it.
How much was? Do you?
It was $1.75 million to.
And then you had to source Germany and stuff like this.
Yeah, we sourced the machinery from all over. And
where did you find the best machinery? Because I wouldn't even know where to start.
Well, that was the thing again. Greg on a plane, he went to cashew factories, he went to almond factories, and then he got the names of these machines, and then we would bring them in, and then we would modify them for the Brazil nut industry. It's never been done before. And suddenly we've got the lowest cost of production and the highest quality product in the market.
Did the nuts come in some kind of a shell?
So basically they come in a coconut, and you have between 16 and 20 pods inside that coconut. And then those pods come out and you have to crack that pod out, and then the nut is inside that. So, and these are all hand collected.
So your machine, because we're going to talk about the farmers and how you give them back to the farmers.
Yeah.
The farmers pick up these coconuts. They don't break them; they give them to you.
Yeah. You can't break them.
The machines break the coconuts. Well, they're tough to break.
Really difficult, impossible, really.
So your machine delicately break these unbreakable coconuts.
Yeah.
Without damaging the pods in the middle.
Yeah.
And then they take the pods out, take them out, and the nuts is inside.
Yeah, and then you have to obviously clean them, roast them, and then we move to the next level of adding value for the consumer. But that's the next part of the process. So yeah, it's an incredible place.
Is this an annual thing, or is it daily or monthly? They keep bringing.
So from January to June but we want to run the facility all year round, and this is why it's as a business it's a challenging one from a cash flow perspective, because you have to
pay salaries and
and you have to buy all the product.
Yes,
in all the raw product you have to collect in the first 6 months. Some of that you collect in June. You're not producing till September, and you're not selling till December.
So you have to save them there. So frigid refrigeration or something.
Yeah, so you dry them. We have these huge warehouses where they sit and they get turned every day to dry in a way that they naturally dry before they come into the facility.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
how many people work in that factory?
We've got about 500.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And 70% women.
That's beautiful.
And in terms of just paying the right money, and I think that was. We saw a lot of companies in Peru that
different advantage.
Yeah, they didn't treat their workers. If we're out products, see you. And we
call you when we need.
Yeah, that type of things. But we built up a real loyal workforce by having the exact same ethos as running a company in the UK or the US, and so that's been good.
So you're not short of staff wanting to work for you.
No, we're not. But
word's gone round.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got people. I was telling a story yesterday about when we were doing the garlic, which we still do, but I think must have been 10, 11 years ago. I remember turning up in Peru for a trip, and we had garlic fields in Arequipa, part Peru, and there was this young lad there in his early 20s, and we said, right, you need to fertilize this field, and we literally just dropped off a backpack for him, and he went, what, all of this? Yeah. We said, yeah, we'll come back and pick you up at the end of the day. And off he went. He's now one of our managers 10 years on, So, we've got that relationship with staff that we're going to progress them.
What's it for people? I've never been to South. I've been everywhere in the world, apart from the South Pole and South America.
Yeah.
What's it like?
Incredible. Yeah.
How often do you spend there, by the way?
So I probably go over.
You still live in Singapore?
I still live in Singapore, and probably because of that, it's a lot more challenging. It's about 30 hours to get from Singapore. You go east
or west to get there?
Well, sometimes psychologically, I can't actually go to Europe to fly to Peru. Because it's like, I've already done 14 hours to get to Europe. So at times I'll go through Europe there and then come back the other way, basically, just to.
The shortest route is east, isn't it?
The shortest route is to go to Amsterdam, 13 hours to Amsterdam.
Still.
Yeah, and then fly to Lima.
You don't realize how big Pacific is.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. So
people think Australia is easy. When you realize when you go to Australia, New Zealand, how far from anywhere else in the world.
Well, I mean, we went to New Zealand for the Easter holidays with 13 hours, I think 12 hours from Singapore.
I know, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, Peru has a magic about it. There's no two ways about it. The people there are incredible. It's obviously very, very poor, but still, and over the years have had big political challenges.
Does the set up a company, is it difficult?
I think what you realise is the amount of bureaucratic processes you have to follow there. Everything needs to be notarized, everything needs to be stamped. So we've got a whole team of people
just making sure the government's okay.
Yeah, just doing paperwork. So, but I think if you want to run a good business there with good values, where you support the team, you give back. That's unusual, and that gives loyalty and trust. And
would you, if somebody was listening, would South America, not just Peru, South America, would you advise them or keep away? Because people are worried about safety and.
I don't see that side of it, but we have had challenges. Of course, we have. I think what you have to do, you've got
challenges from gangs and stuff like this.
We had a pecan nut business in Peru, and we were there for 3 seasons, and at one stage, we had to leave town. We were
doing too well.
Yeah, we're doing too well. The locals, it was a bit of a cartel. And we had to actually pay the police to convoy us out, and we never went back. But that's the only.
You never went back to that town. Or?
Well, never. Yeah, I mean, all the pecan nuts, come from this particular region. You can't. So we never went back into that business. Yeah, we left that business. But generally,
the cartel continue.
I think it does continue. Yeah.
There's many times you had to dust yourself down.
Yeah. But if as a recommendation, would I go there? Yeah, I think it's got some incredible agricultural products. I think there's some incredible people there. I think having Greg on the ground, he's a Peruvian citizen. He's married to a Peruvian lady, and to get together, they've been a real force on the ground there. So I think. If you're on the ground there and you've got the advisors and you've got the local talent working with you, I think it's a good place to do business. Yeah.
So how often do you go?
So I probably go at the moment only once every year, once every 2 years.
You have children?
Got 2 children.
Your children, how old are they?
7 and 9.
Have they been?
They've been, yes. My daughter's been over there. My son hasn't traveled.
What does she think of?
Well, she was very young then, but Greg was getting married in Peru. It was a big Peruvian wedding, and she came to that, and
So she saw the good side.
Yeah, she did.
She saw the factory and the roads. So to get to your factories, you're going to do potholes. You're going to go to the forest or mountains. There's lots of mountains in Peru. Right?
Yeah, there is. Not where we are in the Amazon, but there is our garlic plantations are 3,000 meters above sea level in the Andes.
You own or leased?
We own the plantations, but we lease the land.
I see.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is that it's like sales to you is just natural. I would have thought, okay, all this investment, a couple of million here, try Cartel dealing with it. We got this amazing product. But good God, I still got to go and sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're talking about you're selling in Japan and all over the world.
Yeah.
How does that work? Where do you start?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very different for different businesses. So with White Line Foods, selling the garlic and the Brazil nuts, a lot of it initially was done at these expos like Gulf Foods that we were talking about earlier. So we were here every year, and we do 3 or 4 of those every year. Then as it's progressed, we've built a bigger sales team.
Yes.
Brought in some new people as well. And then it's about hitting the phone, putting good
It's easy to get to head of a supermarket to come and see me. Do they all see you? Or
yeah, I think...
I hear that supermarkets are becoming more and more difficult.
Very difficult, actually.
You have to even buy space now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, you do. Or you have to work with them. I mean, they're real estate companies now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to pay certain incentives. I mean, you can pay it back in marketing.
Even in your business, you have to.
So with White Line Foods,
yeah. I know, like drinks, yes. Chocolate, yes.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a huge organizing, you bidding against Cadbury's and stuff like this.
Yeah.
In your nuts business, you still have to.
You do, as a new brand. So Truly Nuts as a new brand, you're going to have to do. It's not completely. It's not a loss leader, okay, but yeah, there's
to get in.
Yeah, when they
you
give
have
us
to prove online. If they prove there's demand.
Yeah.
So in the other way, you got to market your brand, so people come in asking and looking for it.
Exactly.
So you got 2 battles running.
Yeah.
At the same time.
You need the online, the offline. You need the word of mouth. You need the community. You need everything to come together to get that momentum of scale.
How do people work for you outside your factory? Sales, marketing.
So we have, the collectors, we have about 3,000. And they're kind of freelance collectors. But interestingly, where we put the factory is about 60 kilometers away from the Brazil nut city of Peru. So they all have to come past us before they go down there. And the option is you come and sell to White Line Foods, or you drive 60 kilometers and maybe you're going to get the same price.
So if I went to your factory, it'd be a long line of trucks.
Yeah.
And they're weighing them, and you pay there and then.
No, I mean, it's all done bank transfer.
Oh, even in Peru.
Yeah, it has to be now. Yeah, even
That's
Peru.
Incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, I think our sales team is relatively modest, because I think once you've got a great product, and you've got the volume, and your people know us with a leader of Brazil nuts. So
that's incredible.
So
worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide.
That's beautiful. The government, how much tax do you have to pay in Peru for?
Corporation tax is relatively high. But I mean, I think we have 12 entities around the world under White Line Foods. So we have, multiple different ways of selling and stuff like that. So it's a big group now.
Do you ever stop?
No.
What drives you? Because you could now, couldn't you? You could stop.
Yeah.
And you're still in your 40s, right?
Yeah. I think, when you see that things can be done better, you want to do it better, and I've always wanted to progress, and I want my people to progress. I want my companies to progress.
When you're going all over the world, you've got to miss out on the most important things in your life to your kids, right?
Yeah, but I don't. That's such it. Yeah. So I take my kids to school every morning. I have dinner with them every evening. Obviously not today, but like here I arrive.
Most of the time you are in Soudi.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate because they're in an international school. They get a lot of holidays. Most of my friends complain about that because they're like, I'm paying all this money for an international school. And
no, school, tell me about it. Yeah.
But I actually really like that, because anytime they're off school, we travel somewhere, and I'll be traveling for work, but they'll come with me, and I'll be working there, and I'll still have the routine that will see them. So, we're able to work from wherever we are in the world.
And your wife, I've met your beautiful wife. Yeah. Is she as driven as you are, business-wise? Or does she support you? Or how does that?
She's highly motivated, but she now is motivated to run the family and our life. Really, it's we're really close to our friends, and our family, and so she just manages that so that we're always. She's relentless. So there's always dinners booked. She's always the one texting people like, we haven't seen you for a while. Let's sort out dinner. So she just takes care of travel, everything. I just turn up, and I don't know where I'm going to be next, but but she's always been there. I mean, she met me when I had nothing, and she'll always be there for me. So, and I think that security, that stability of Marie and the kids is such
a trust between you and
the support. I mean, I always joke about it because we were looking at a property project in Ibiza, and it was a good time to go, and I was on my way to Peru, and Marie said, well, I'll go to Ibiza and have a look. And she went around and looked at a couple of property projects, and she said, I think we should go for this one. Yeah. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Never saw it.
And it was
the one.
Obviously, you're going every year now.
Yeah, we go every year. And
do you rent it out or sitting there?
Yeah, we rent. We do a few rentals on it.
I don't know about this rental business. I don't know if I want somebody else sleeping on my bed.
Yeah, I think.
You got your personal clothing in the cupboards and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I think you could.
I want to be rich enough to have properties everywhere empty.
Yes, yeah. I also feel that if you can get the right people in there, and we're very much selective of who go in there, that it's an opportunity to give them an amazing experience, to experience that property, to experience something that we built and enjoy it as well. So as long as it's the right people, we've had some times where we've had the wrong people in there. I got a phone call once. I was on the way back from the Russia World Cup, and I was in Germany, and a German number flashed up on my phone, and I was thinking, oh, maybe it's the airline saying that the transition has changed to here. Anyway, it was my neighbour, and he said, oh, Gareth, do you know what's been going on at your villa for the last 24 hours? And I said, no. And I said, oh, there was an after party here after Pasha.
Oh, no.
Just finished at 10 o'clock in the morning.
They stayed up all morning.
Yeah. Some of the biggest DJs in the world played there. So,
oh, my God. Yes, I've been to Pasha.
Yeah. So, and they were like
during COVID. Yeah. But if I was the only one there.
But that was the interesting thing, at the time, the DJs that actually played at the villa were the number one DJs in the world, and they played at my villa, unbeknown to me. So, yeah, after that. Yeah.
You like Ibiza?
I do really like it there.
What's special about it? Because my kids love Ibiza.
Yeah, I think...
maybe it was the energy of just after COVID.
Yeah.
But I didn't think there was anything special. So it's hard to get to.
Yeah.
I don't know, personally speaking.
I think I've been going there since I was 19, and obviously it's changed.
Attachment.
Yeah, I do, but the island is beautiful. There's a beautiful energy there. You have everything from the super high end like you have in Dubai, right down to the sort of hippie and spiritual element, and meditation retreats, and some of the most beautiful beaches. So you can have a very quiet life in Ibiza, but you can also nip out and have a night out.
Something.
Yeah, and the beach clubs are incredible to take your kids to. So people are there. We actually ended up living there for a year during COVID, because we left Singapore after 15 months of being locked down there, and then we had 2 months in Europe. We were asking to go back, wouldn't let us back in. I'm like, well, I've got a business here. I've got 100 people employed. You can't come back now.
For you in your beautiful house.
Yeah, well, it was fine. There was an upside. But, the people that I met during that year, the kids at school there, some incredible people.
And they all speak English, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think come and visit us, and you'll see a different side.
Done. I won't say the night, so I'll say nearby.
Yeah, of course.
Because you won't be getting sleep with my snoring. That's how big your house is. Done. We met in Necker Island.
Mm.
I'm not sure if I'll go back.
Mm-hmm.
You've been 3 times. What do you get out? Because lots of people don't invest in personal growth. What is that because it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Right? To have that investment. And you don't go by yourself. You often go with your wife.
Yeah.
Have you taken your kids with you ever?
We haven't yet, but I think we will do next year. Yeah.
So I'm not going to mention prices, but it's quite expensive. What do you get out of it?
I think it's a moment to meet a lot of other very different people who probably got similar attitudes to the world, which is very, very positive. I think
so. You don't network with everyone. There's plenty of few.
Yeah, there are, and
people who squeeze themselves to be there.
Yeah,
the people who want to be amongst others. I'm an observer. I just pick and choose.
Yeah, no, I do. And you know, I gravitate towards the people that I can feel aligned to. Mm-hmm. I think spending time with Sir Richard, you know, is a gift. You've just seen the way he operates with his family, the way he operates with his businesses. Just seeing how down to earth.
Do you only go with Maverick, or do you go?
Yeah,
Maverick are the company that introduced us, and they get a group of entrepreneurs that go once a year to their country.
Yeah, I do. Although I saw Dan, a mutual friend, last night, and he'd just come back from there, and so there is, I think, another opportunity that you can go. But I think Maverick have been there for 13 years now.
Did Dan meet Sir Richard?
Yes,
he did.
Yeah. And because they've been there for 13 years, they have a special relationship with Richard where he will be around. Yeah. And, you know, the first 2 years, we were having breakfast, lunch and dinner with him every day. Wow. Probably saw him a little bit less on the last trip.
Does he recognize you now?
Yeah.
He does know.
Yeah, he does. You know, when we're in touch on email, mm-hmm. And he's been very supportive of what we're doing in the Amazon jungle, and very interested about it. And he's connected me with lots of his businesses to work. So yeah.
Yes, he connects, and then they have to do due diligence, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean,
because he says yes to everything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to your business, but he says yes to playing paddle after doing a 2-hour cycle. Yeah. Yes to chess after he's done that. And I'll do 7 minutes in the cold plunge. You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's incredible inspiration.
Yeah. And an inspiration both mentally and physically to, so yeah. And I value that time on the island and, to do something different. You know, it's probably the only week I do spend where I'm not on the go, yeah. So I like that.
So you book it in diary every year you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying I'll go forever, but for now.
Have you had measurable business out of it? Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Relationships.
Relationships. I've met some wonderful people there. You know, friends that who I know I could call on. Mm-hmm. For help, and I have had lots of help. So certainly with what we're doing with Truly Nuts, some of the people I've met at Necker are helping me build that business now.
So where are you going with the company? Let's say 5 years down the line. What's your goal?
Well, I think our plan is to have Truly Nuts in 25 countries.
How many do you have now?
I think 4 or 5.
Wow.
Yeah. So Singapore, Malaysia, Japan, UK, and here in Dubai.
Yes.
So 25 countries, build it into a big consumer brand, and keep pushing with the Brazil nuts, the wholesale business. We're going to break ground next year on a new site in Manaus in Brazil, and build a really big facility there. And we really want to, you know, get market share up to sort of 30% global market share of Brazil nuts.
And what's the size of the global market?
The market is actually for nuts is relatively small versus the others. It's actually one of the smallest categories. Yeah. So there's somewhere between 1,600 and 1,800 containers of Brazil nuts that are exported, which is pretty small. Mm-hmm. Thinking a container is 16 tons. So 1,600 times 16 tons, that's the kind of market level.
For the world, it's not that much.
No, it's not. No, because it's very difficult. You know, you can't grow them. You know, it's you look at an almond plantation, macadamias.
Easy options for the distributors.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's good for you.
Yeah, it's good. And
we've
got a niche there. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and keep growing. And I think we've had a charity that we've been doing work in Peru since, when did we start that? 2008 through Amoria. We've done a lot of work in the shanty towns in Lima. So continue with that work that we do there, and more work in the Amazon as well.
It's beautiful. I would love to maybe talk about doing business here with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love what you're doing. I love your message. I love the good that you're doing. I love to go to South America with my family and see all the amazing stuff that you do.
Well, let's make that a family trip.
Let's do that. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I travel the world. Why not educate the family to see?
Yeah.
People are amazing. People are doing good things in the world.
Yeah.
It's not just money and ripping people off.
Yeah, 100%. And it'll open your eyes to a wonderful place, and people that are so happy despite the fact they don't have much. You know, I mean, that's such a beautiful thing.
What happened was I booked to go to the Indies, is that what they call them? The walk where you go to the mountains in Peru.
Oh, Machu Picchu.
Yes.
Yeah, the Inca Trail.
No, I booked.
Yeah.
And then I met my wife, Angela. We so fell in love that I couldn't bear being without her for the month.
Yeah.
So I just cancelled, never went, but I paid for it.
Yeah.
So that's waiting for me. Do they still allow tourists to go up?
You can still do the Inca Trail. It's 3 days. I did it in 2006. And you can still go to Machu Picchu. I went just before COVID.
Isn't it breathtaking, isn't it?
It is an incredible place, actually. They're just the energy there, the location, what they must have gone through to build it. You know, now I think it's a UNESCO or World Heritage Site.
How they found it and what it is now.
Yeah.
The work they did to clean
it up. But you know, we were there for sunrise, and they literally the Incas had put their temple, their shrine, at exactly the point on certain days on the solstice that the sun comes through on another ridge, you know, 10, 15 kilometers away.
There was a generation lost. Do you think hundreds of years, thousands of years ago, there were other smarter generations? Something happened, we lost them, now we're here again. Because it just doesn't make sense.
I think they were connected to the planet and the universe in a different way to us, and they had technologies that you know, from the stars, from what they were seeing up there. They were far and above in many ways, ahead of what we are now today.
Because there's landmarks in Peru, especially, and from the air you can see that humans could physically put together shapes and lines and everything more aligned to the stars.
Huge drawings in the earth that you can only see from space. How did they do that?
How did they do that? The way they cut their stones. Closest we went to is Mexico.
Right.
And that was incredible. The pyramids there. And it's like 50% of pyramids haven't even been found.
Yeah.
There's mounds of mountain stuff where they're underneath.
Yeah. Well, the jungle takes it back. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
Mate, I'm going to hold you to that. So November the 16th, you book it. I'm coming to Ibiza. Let me know the dates.
Yeah.
This year, next year, whatever.
Yeah.
You got me motivated to go to Neke again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And definitely South America.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I want to take my kids back over there, so maybe we can do it together.
Let me know.
Yeah.
And I would love to discuss further, but with doing something with your wonderful company.
Yeah.
Here in UAE.
Love to.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
Thank you so much.
You.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I salute you, Gladiator.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you.